JCI senators present, one of the things that would always make you feel fulfilled is when you visit local organizations like JCI Ibadan. Apart from Lagos Metropolitan, which is the founding local organization, JCI Ibadan is the most rooted local organization, not only in Nigeria but in Africa. I can see my people is folding his hands to listen to what I want to say. Thank you very much. When I got the invite to come and speak at JCI Ibadan on the topic parliamentary procedure, I realized that I have to not just prepare but also come to learn when we share ideas together. And today I'll be speaking on parliamentary procedure as a tool for successful leadership. A lot of times you realize that members come to general assemblies, synonymously called business meetings. When they attend meetings, they listen to trainers. When they listen to trainers or facilitators, they discuss, and when they go back home, that is the end. I realize that a lot of our members utilize 25 to 30% of what they learn, because most times members don't pay rapt attention to the things that we share. As such, if you do a juxtaposition of members in the 80s and 90s, compare them to members in this century, you will see the difference when it comes to utilizing the content that they get when it comes to facilitation, trainings, and all of that. I was here someday and I listened to JCI senators. I also listened to presidents that have achieved a lot, Lagos Metro, Ibadan, JCI Nigeria. You realize that a lot of the things they've achieved were as a result of the content they were able to grasp to themselves. Because you cannot give what you do not have. And as such, when we come to meetings, local organization meetings, it is very, very important that when we are doing all of these motions, speaking, knowledge sharing, first, learn to write. Second, learn to go back to what you've written. Third, learn to utilize what you've gone back to into your daily life. That is what has made them become better from who they were into who they are now. And that is what will also make you become better to who you really want to be. Every time I make presentation, this is the first slide I used to bring up, for you to understand what JCI really wants to achieve. So I'd like to correct some myths in a few minutes. I wish the projection is up. There are some myths that you must have been so familiar with. I would like to furnish you with the facts of this myth when it comes to parliamentary procedure. Myth number one, you will hear people say that parliamentary procedure deals with motions and arguments. Every time you hear the words parliamentary procedures, what comes to mind is motions and arguments. But no, the fact is parliamentary procedure is the body of rules, ethics, and customs governing meetings. Meaning that the way you dress, the way you sit, the way you speak, the pattern of speaking, it is all embedded in parliamentary procedure. That is the first myth I really want to correct. The second myth I like to correct is, if a motion is moved, and I'd like you to please take note of this, if a motion is moved and seconded, it is automatically open for debate. If a motion is moved and seconded, it is automatically open for debate, meaning that when there is a motion, you will see example in the course of the meeting. When a motion is moved and seconded, it is not outrightly open for debate until the chair, who do we call the chair in this scenario? The president or the presiding officer, declares it for debate. Meaning that sometimes even the chair can decide not to declare the motion for debate if it contravenes any rule, if it is out of order, or if it violates any of the procedures of the meeting. Myth number three, when quorum is certified, all decisions are valid and legal. There's a rule that says when quorum is certified, it should be sustained. Meaning that, for example, if your quorum is 20, when you declare quorum, and 2 members walk out, and your members are now 18, quorum is not sustained. It's a rule under robust rule of order. Myth number 3, when I say it's a myth, you would understand that we have turned all of these to culture, customs, we move with it. But a lot of these things are not correct, and that's why JCI is a learning organization. Another one says, after motion for adjournment is seconded. I saw this in a meeting where when somebody moved motion for adjournment and it was seconded, they took their bags and everybody walked out. They were like, the president was still seated. And I was like, no, no, no. When a motion for adjournment has been moved, either by time, because meetings can be timed, or when it has been moved and seconded, just the way the chair declared the house by calling it to order, the chair also needs to make a declaration by saying the meeting is hereby adjourned. Golden fact. This is also something that we see almost every day. You could see at some meetings, some sessions, some general assemblies, where you see people after members or individuals, after a motion has been moved, it has been seconded, because they do not support that motion, they will rise and they will say, I hereby move a counter motion, just to say I do not support this motion. But there is nothing like counter motion. There can be counter argument, meaning that when a motion is moved, it is discussed, you now argue against that motion, and when a vote is taken after you have argued logically, if the vote is not in favor of that motion, the motion dies naturally. What then is parliamentary procedure? What does it contain? It contains rules. It contains protocols. All of the things we do, Mr. President, immediate past president, board members, all of those things we do, etiquette, how we dress, how we address ourselves, all of these things are all contained in parliamentary procedures, because there's always preparation before the meeting, activities during the meeting, and activities outside of the meeting. As such, if you see members that want to come for meetings, the first thing you must first put in your mind is, how do you dress for the meeting? Number two, what do I say at the meeting? How do you speak during the meeting? So parliamentary procedure is not just about motions, arguments alone. It's about all of the things, even the way we sit, the way we speak, all of the things we do, they are all embedded inside parliamentary procedure. So I'm doing a quick background check. Parliamentary procedure principles. There are principles in parliamentary procedure and the things that parliamentary procedure is expected to certify. Number one, we need to take note that all members have equal rights, privileges, and obligations. All members, 18 to 40, have equal rights, privileges, and obligations. A meeting can deal with only one matter at a time. I want us to take note of that. Number three, a majority vote decides an issue. A majority vote, to show you that JCI is so democratic as an organization. Number four, the rights of the minority must be protected at all times. Number five, every matter presented for decision should be fully discussed. And lastly, every member has the right to understand the meaning of any question presented to a meeting and to know what effect a decision will have. Meaning that when there is a decision, a discussion on ground, members have the right to seek for clarifications. So ladies and gentlemen, let us move straight to the exit topic for today: successful leadership. It is very important that if you don't better yourself, you cannot better the organization. It is very important that if you don't better yourself, you cannot give your best to your workplace. It is very important that if you don't better yourself, it is going to be very tough for you to remain productive and to meet up with the organizational objective of your workplace or the institution that you work for. As such, one of the first things that parliamentary procedure will do to you, will do to JCI, and will do to your workplace is time management. Parliamentary procedure emphasizes On the use of time during meetings. Start early, discuss early, time the speaker, time every action, time your emotions, take away luxuries and excessive greetings that will consume time. Because most importantly, one of my side research is that some members come to local organizations. When they start their meeting by 3 o'clock, they finish by 8 o'clock, and they need to go to work on Monday, they will not come back. And when you ask them why, they will give you other excuses. It might not be totally applicable to JCI Baga, but it is applicable to a lot of local organizations. If you're a business owner, if you're a leader, this should also apply at your workplace. It means at every cadre of your employees, even at your board, allow everybody air their view. Sometimes the intimidated might be the one that have the sustainable solution. As such, you should learn in your own place of work to give everybody equal opportunity to air their view. I've seen in some gatherings where someone that is so young will want to speak, and the next thing you hear is what will come out of his mouth. What experience does he have? At the end of the day, the content that was shared remained the sustainable solution to the problem till today. JCI is like an open source platform where everybody have equal opportunities to learn. JCI is a place of equality. JCI is a place of fairness. JCI is a place where we democratically decide on issues, not as a result of our status of our political portfolio. Moving on. Parliamentary procedure promotes order and respect. You know, in parliamentary procedure or in our meetings, everybody speak one at a time. You cannot speak until the president gives you the speaking right. And when you want to speak, you don't mention names. Just like Patrick said. Just like Agbomeji said. No. And in JCI, if you want to speak, you address the chair. Anything you want to say, it is to the chair. What then do you think we're teaching? We're teaching you to respect one another. We're teaching you to promote orderliness. So that regardless of what you want to say, no matter how emotional, no matter how directional, when you address it to the chair, it helps you to build confidence. It helps you to calm yourself. It helps the house to remain in order. Don't you also notice that when the gavel sounds, everybody remains quiet? It is also one of the ethics, one of the tips, one of the things that you learn in JCI through parliamentary procedure. And these are one of the things that can help you in your workplace. You know, when you learn to be quiet and to be calm, over time, it becomes an attitude. And when things are going wrong in your workplace, what do? You remain calm. It is very important that one of the skills that we really don't have and we don't go after is listening skills and the ability to be calm. When you are calm, you can see through the storm. When you have listening skills, you can hear a lot that would make you and help you adjudicate better and make informed decisions. Also, another part is that you realize that JCI has also helped us in a lot of ways through parliamentary procedure to always learn to take protocols. JCI does not deal with personalities. My friend might be the president, but when I walked in and I saw the local president, I was president in 2018, I stood up. Just the same way the 1982 president of JCI Lagos Metropolitan always bowed to shake me while I had the chain of office. Today, if my president should walk in and I'm seated, I will rise regardless of the years at which the parity between myself and her when it comes to presidency. JCI teaches you that level of attitude, to be humble, to have respect, to promote orderliness. That's JCI. We speak one at a time, not rowdy, but orderly. And this also will help you personally at your workplace and help the society. Conflict resolution. JCI is a place where we discuss a lot. Conflict can arise at any time. And as such, JCI has taught us to always listen, to always resolve issues, to always look into strategies that can help us to resolve conflict, which is number one, listening. Number two, being fair. Number three, treat issues and not personality. That's what JCI has taught us over time. If there are issues that is favorable to my friend, but very wrong, I will say it the way it is for my friend to learn, so that next time my friend will do what is right. There's a particular sentence I used to say to people. If you help someone to do what is wrong, they will never recommend you for what is right. Because they will always have fear of you not betraying on what is right. As such, at all times, stand tall to what is right. It might go for long, but one day your recommendation will come and it will be sustainable. Encourage collaboration and teamwork. It is in JCI that you are going to be part of the majority in 1 minute and you are part of the minority in another minute. In JCI, when an issue is discussed, you are part of a team. Oh, I support this. Yes, I support it. And the next minute, another issue. When they would vote, you are part of the minority. In JCI, we don't do things out of stiffness and hold on to it. We build teams because together, everyone achieve more. So JCI is a teamwork organization. And when they build teamwork through you, and you learn as an individual, it will help you at your workplace. When people have diverse opinions, decent opinions, and they do not follow you, it does not mean you should not be a team player, because everything will not go your way. Sometimes your way, sometimes their way, sometimes our way. It enhances decision making. Parliamentary procedure helps us to make rapid, speed up decision process. Regardless of perspective, regardless of opinions, regardless of all, when we listen to people make presentations, when we listen to experts speak, when we listen to people's conduct, people's options, people's views, we now make decisions. They are voting, and nobody will feel slighted. Nobody will feel offended, because the rule says majority will have their way, minority will have their say, while the minority remain protected. JCI helps you to ensure accountability and documentation. Today you will listen to reports. I saw it on the agenda. In JCI, you do not only become a board member, you do not only become a portfolio occupier, you do not only become someone that has title, director this, ambassador this, chairman this. When you are given responsibility and you present your plan of action, what do we expect next after execution? Report. As such, JCI helps you to become accountable. In JCI, anybody can ask anybody any question. So far, it is important, and it is very important and useful to the local organization. Anybody at all. When I was immediate past president, I traveled and I came back from Ede. And while I was presenting my report, questions were coming in. And somebody said, why would this one be asking question? Why would this one be asking question? And somebody said, Tobias stood up and said, in JCI, anybody can ask anybody any question, because JCI is not a secret organization. All members have equal right. As such, when you learn to become accountable in JCI, it helps you in your workplace. When they give you little task to carry out, you report back, you remain accountable. As such, it builds your pedigree, it builds your recommendation power, and you become valuable in the sight of people. Develop leadership skills. What is the overall essence of leaving your house every day? Come for meetings, learn new things. It is to develop your leadership skill. But the first set of skills that you need, you know them, soft skills that you need, communication and all of that. But most importantly, who is the first person that you need to lead? Yourself. Self-leadership. We need to learn to lead ourselves. Communicate well. You yourself know what you lack. You yourself know what you need to become a better person. Lead yourself well. Go after knowledge. When you better yourself, you become one of those that stand the chance of getting to the top. But someone that aims to the top, someone that aims for the top, someone that wants to climb the mountain, someone that wants to reach for the top, that says, my path is not a ladder, my path is not to walk. At the end of the day, You are only wishing. If only wishes were horses. So, most importantly, I want to say to you today, for a close, that in all things you do as member of JCI Ibadan, even if you are not a member of JCI Ibadan at all, to your individual self, every day of your life, wake up, better yourself. Every day, wake up, better yourself. Because when opportunities come, it is only those that have abilities that will be summoned. Only those that have abilities that will be recommended. Only those that have abilities that will get the job. Yes, you might say you have connection. It will never be sustainable when you lack ability. Ladies and gentlemen, the only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. Who do you decide to be? That is the question of Ralph Waldo Emerson. Thank you very much, everybody.